Mr. Clerk, it's 9 minutes after 9. Could I have a motion to resume, please? Councillor Abel, thank you. Second. Councillor Thompson, all in favor? Contrary? It's carried. Thank you. Introduction here. We are still in our budget meeting, special GC budget meeting. And we are going to start with communications, which was a partial deferral from last Monday evening. And we've invited Mr. Kemp to speak to us. There was some questions around the communications budget, so we've asked Mr. Kemp to come and speak with us. Mr. Kemp, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, members of council, and thank you for the invitation to come here today to speak a little further about the draft 2014 corporate communications budget. You have before you a very brief PowerPoint presentation in hard copy format. It's also up on the screens. I'm going to go through and give a little overview of the proposed budget for 2014 as well as a comparison to 2013 and a little bit to 2012. And then I'm happy to answer any questions. The first slide that you see before you, there are two boxes that are in a gray styling. I'm going to be focusing on two specific line items in both of those. Under the 2013 budget that is listed as adjusted, there's a line item for advertising listed at $148,000. Below that is one called printing for $34,100. That was a number that was adjusted by finance, and I'm going to go into that a little bit further. The 2014 draft budget proposes a reduction in advertising of $10,000. You'll see that noted at $138,000, and a stand pat of the print budget at $34,100. Further to Mr. Garby's overview, last week I'm happy to break down the advertising budget, which is the most significant portion of the corporate communications budget. The proposed amount, as I mentioned, is $138,000. The lion's share of this budget goes to the notice board. It's our primary communications vehicle. Council will recall that we did a sole source arrangement with the Aurora newspaper. We have an agreement with them for a 2-year term with 2 additional 1-year terms subject to an evaluation by Mr. Garby and myself. The base amount for that we are contracted with the Aurora is $35,000. There are supplemental amounts that I have listed on here that are further down. I've called those spillover. We have one page with the Aurora, but often we have more to say than one page worth, so we allocate an additional $15,000 for that. I'd like to draw your attention to the second line item here. It's $30,000. This is advertising for employment notices, and that is through Mr. Levesque's group. Council may recall last year that responsibility for the HR ad budget was switched to corporate communications. I proposed to do so that it would be more efficient for staff to get our advertisements out, get our invoices processed, and that we had the potential for significant cost savings on that. There was a conversation last year that I recall with Councillor Gartner asking about social media and how it may reduce costs. I'll go into that a little bit further. I have it noted that we have a LinkedIn channel there, and that's been the primary driver of cost savings for that line item. The third line item is also a new one for this year. It's $19,000. This is for advertising for Parks and Recreation special events. That is handled by Shelley Ware. I have a $15,000 line item for planning notices. Council may recall that they approved notices going in both the Aurora and the Banner, and at Mr. Ramuno's estimation, we put that at approximately $15,000. That's been serving us well. We also have advertising in sport in Aurora magazine. It's a direct marketing publication that goes to the sports and recreation community. Last year we allocated $6,000 towards that. I'm proposing to move forward with the same amount. Last year we added Snapped Aurora, which was formerly known as Snap Aurora. $4,800 we advertised last year. We were able to leverage that to get discount on video production for the Aurora 150 initiative, and I've been very pleased with the exposure we've been getting for that. I'm proposing as part of this year that we examine the opportunity to go with the Blades of Grass publication. It is another sports and recreation publication that is a direct mail out to members of the recreation community. I have a line item down here as well that is $10,500. That is a catch-all for all the remaining things we do. Most of the advertisements that show up in print publication are designed in-house by my staff. Some of them are not. One of the main things that we did last year was the Natural Capital Assets Report. We worked with Mr. Kyle to develop that. That's something that we outsourced to a professional designer. It's a 60-page document. It's too big for us to do here. We do a resident guide as well. That comes out of that line item. And anything with respect to logo development or other things go into that item. Changes from 2013 to 2014 are proposing to go from $148,000 to $138,000. This is the direct result of efficiencies that we've found. I mentioned that we took control of the Human Resources advertising budget to find staff efficiencies as well as financial efficiencies. And as of April last year, we created the Aurora LinkedIn page, which has become the primary driver to recruit people to the town of Aurora. It's been very, very useful, and Mr. Levesque has been very pleased with how it's worked out. We've been getting better caliber job applications. It's streamlined the selection process for his staff. It's consolidated work under one department. That's with respect to producing advertisements as well as processing invoices, and it's significantly reduced the need for print advertising. I wanted to touch briefly on the 2012 to 2014 budget and talk about actual dollars in a comparison. So in 2012, the advertising budget was $74,000, and I think this was a part of the conversation that Council had last week and some questions relating to that. The proposed 2014 budget difference would be $64,000. Two of these, and the lion's share of those costs, are administrative transfers from other departments. They're not increases. They've been moved from one department to another because it's more efficient to have one group doing it. It cuts down on costs with respect to staff time, and as I've mentioned, I've found significant cost savings as well. The Human Resources advertising is proposed at $30,000 this year, transferred from Human Resources. $19,000, as I mentioned, has been transferred from Parks and Recreation. The only increase that has appeared in the last 2 years in this budget is $15,000, and that was at the request of Council to put Mr. Ramuno's notices in the Aurora and the Banner. The other element that I would like to touch on is the promotions budget. It is the second largest item in here and is primarily for event management. The proposed 2014 budget is $34,100. That's unchanged from last year. Approximately $12,000 of that is for corporate events. That includes rentals, promotional material, catering, and awards. $12,000 is for corporate merchandise to support that effort and promotions. $3,000 for video development, for web-related development, and for our live streaming program. $2,100 is allocated for stock art. As I mentioned, we do most of our things in-house, and we use stock photography to keep a professional look and feel on our materials. We have $2,000 allocated for professional photography, and then we have an extra $2,000 that we use to purchase items as opposed to rent for events because it's more efficient from a cost-benefit point of view. Changes from 2012 to 2014. There is only one change from 2012. It was $29,100, $34,100 last year, and we're proposing the same for this year. The difference in that budget was another administrative transfer from strategic initiatives for executive-style merchandise. That comes from Mr. Irulo's budget. I'd like to talk just very briefly about some variances in the budget. So the 2013 advertising and promotions budget has a total of $27,000. $10,000 of those, as I've mentioned, come from efficiencies that we've found with the HR advertising budget. $10,000 was deferred artwork and print production costs that we did as part of a corporate overview at the end of the year, and $7,000 was deferred in merchandise purchases. I would like to talk very briefly about the efficiencies, just to give an overview of some of the things that my department does. In 2013, I cut the corporate communications budget by $2,200 by streamlining subscriptions and contracts. And in 2014, I'm proposing to cut out a further $10,000 in efficiencies. During this period, corporate communications has kept an identical staff complement. We have rebranded all of the Town of Aurora promotional material, and we've greatly expanded our network of advertising. Media communications over the course of the last 2 years has been increased by my department by 68%. We've implemented a complete internal communication system. Our staff are our best ambassadors, and keeping them in the know is important to us. So we have Inside Aurora, which is a weekly update to staff. We implemented, as you're well aware, the Internet live streaming program, which is ongoing, and we are streaming as we speak. And we launched and expanded 4 social media streams: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. As a final note, at Mr. Garby's request, I'm providing a web update. Council would have received an update in the November timeframe on the status of the website redesign. The RFP for completion of the website is closed as of last week, and tendering will commence this week. I can't speak specifically as that tender has not closed yet, but we're estimating the end of April, early May for full launch. And we are looking at simultaneously launching some handheld applications through Ping Street. Council may have heard that there's an ad campaign in Barrie right now. They've launched the Ping Street application. It provides municipal services through your handheld device. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. Can I have a motion, first of all, to receive Mr. Kemp's presentation, refer to corporate communications? Thank you, Councillor Ballard. Councillor Gardner, second. Questions with respect to the presentation? Nobody? Councillor Thompson.
Thank you. Through you to Mr. Kemp. So, Mr. Kemp, I was one of the ones that brought up questions, and it really revolves around, I guess, our choice of advertisement. I mean, how are we making those decisions based on, what are the overall objectives? I mean, it's great to present the numbers, but at the same time, what are the objectives we're trying to achieve? What is the goals? And how are we measuring that those are the right places to advertise and be successful in?
Mr. Kemp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, we're doing a widespread approach. Our primary vehicle is print, and we get that reflected in responses from members of our community. We have a very diverse community here, and we have the same challenges as many others. We have an established community that depends on the local paper to get their primary source of information. Increasingly, we have more people going to our website to get that information. As a newer element of that, we have social media streams. There are any number of social media streams. We've chosen to concentrate on 4 of them. Because we have such a widespread demographic, we have new people coming in who may not be using the traditional sources of information. They want to do everything online, whereas our established community may want to use the newspaper. I'm using that as a basis for our approach. The notice board is our primary print vehicle. We use all local newspapers. That's the Banner, the Aurora, and Snapped. They all have excellent placement in our community. It goes throughout our community, and they're good locations for us. Supplemental to that, we have some direct marketing campaigns through what we're proposing, the Blades of Grass and Sport in Aurora, that goes specifically to a community that we offer a significant number of services to. With respect to tracking that, that's always a challenge. And we do track that through online surveys. We do it through surveys in the newspaper. But as Council is well aware, at a number of recent survey efforts that we've done, we typically get, if we're lucky, a maximum of about 120 respondents out of a population of over 50,000. That's not a viable sample size. I'm very encouraged that tentatively Council has approved a community-based survey. It's something the town of Newmarket did in 2008. It's very effective in understanding how people prefer to have information, and I am very eager to get involved with that initiative to find out how much bang we're getting for our buck. In the absence of that, it's word of mouth, it's our response rate. People correspond through our existing channels, and we're using as many as possible.
Councillor?
So in 2011, we adopted a communication strategy that the main mission or overarching strategy was to devise ways to measure that value and those results and bring that back to Council for this whole budget process. So it sounds like 3 years later, we're still struggling to meet the basic objectives of that strategic plan. Because, to be honest with you, I don't see any information allowing us to make those determinations about measuring the value of what we're doing in the reports that are being presented to us, even though that was the overarching strategy within the communication. So it sounds like we need to go back and revisit that because we're not achieving those objectives.
Mr. Kemp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a very fair comment. We are tracking metrics through our electronic services. We have metrics now for website, we have metrics for Facebook, and we have metrics for Twitter. So I can give you examples of how well we're doing on there. The difficulty that we have in measuring in the absence of a community survey is that we are forced to survey on our own. And there is an inherent bias in doing so. Traditionally, what we've done is we've done a WebMonkey survey, SurveyMonkey on our website, but that really only captures people who happen to be coming through that specific channel. If we do something through Facebook and Twitter, which we've done before, it's just a microcosm there. What we need is a strategic approach moving forward, and as I mentioned, I'm strongly encouraged that we're proceeding with a community survey. I know that's something that has been on the books for a number of different years, but for a variety of reasons has been deferred.
Councillor?
My point is still the same. I'm asked to approve an advertising budget, but I have no idea whether it's effective or not. And I still go back to the goal of what we approved, that, we wanted that information 3 years ago. I just want to know that, are we reaching the right people? Is our advertising effective? That's what I was looking to get.
Other comments? Councillor Ballard.
No, and I share concerns expressed by Councillor Thompson that I need to understand that the money we're spending is being used effectively, and the results are as we anticipate. And I know that communications is one of those areas that it's very difficult to measure success, but we need to somehow measure success, and I was hoping that we would have that kind of information in front of us at this budget time so that we could, even if not perfect, we could get a sense that things are in an upward trend over the past 2-3 years, especially with the implementation of social media. The only research I can do is research by walking around and talking to neighbors and people in the community and asking them, did they see this ad, or do they read this newspaper, or do they visit the website, and that sort of thing. And it's by no means is a scientific way of gathering comments, but I have been not impressed by the feedback I'm getting from people in terms of them not realizing the variety of ways that we're trying to reach out to their communities, to our community. And I guess you can never do enough. And I think of the last two issues that have faced this town from a communications perspective. Garbage collection and the ice storm. And I'm wondering if, or what thought, if any, your department has given to additional means of communicating with people when they don't have electricity, when they don't have smartphones, when they don't have access to internet, when newspapers aren't coming out or coming out only on a weekly basis. I just think it's almost as if we're relying too much on the internet now, and not enough on older forms of technology, i.e. the phone. So I'd be interested, and it's an aside from the budget, but I'd be interested in knowing if you have any comments about how we can use other technologies to reach people who don't necessarily have access to the internet. I'll leave it there for now. I think just generally that corporate communications, if you look back over 10 years, and I made this comment last week, has seen a significant increase, and I'm just concerned that we're not being able to demonstrate to taxpayers that it's money well spent, even though inherently I know that we need to do this. I just need I need some numbers, some facts that I can take to the community to show them that people are responding, people are reading the ads, people are visiting the website, they're using our Facebook feeds and those sorts of things.
Mr. Kemp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I'd like to talk about the first portion of it relating to specific emergencies. For the benefit of members of council, I've had the opportunity to speak at length with Mr. Garby and the Mayor about revising our crisis communications protocol to involve social media more. It's not that we haven't been doing that, but the policy needs to be updated. So that's one of the things I'm going to be looking at. Another thing, as Councillor Ballard aptly noted, was what do you do when all of your communications channels don't work, or they're not fast enough, or it's not effective, or they're working for some and not others? And one of the things that we're going to be doing as part of this effort is we're going to be contacting 680 News to see if we can enter into a relationship with them as a go-to radio source. Part of the problems that we had, and the Mayor will remember this well over the Christmas break, we were arranging media interviews, and the feedback was, well, why aren't you on the radio? Well, we are on the radio, but we're not on the station you listen to necessarily. We have a radio station here that is the Jewel, 88.5. But when you ask people how many people listen to the Jewel, you get a very varied response. It seems that more people listen to Toronto-based stations. And in the situation of a crisis, if it's a localized crisis, we get a lot of attention. When it's a widespread crisis, we become second banana, as it were. The City of Toronto gets precedence, City of Mississauga. So what we would like to do is establish a formalized relationship with one news agency so that we can use that and promote that as a go-to in times of emergency. I think that would meet the expectations of our residents in the unusual circumstance where almost all of our other communications lines are just not effective, or they're only getting to a microcosm. With respect to measurement, which I think was the latter half of the comment, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to present any metrics that we have. And moving forward, should we proceed with a community survey, I'm more than happy to bring the results of that here and tailor that communication effort specifically to the findings of that survey. I'm looking forward to doing something like that. I don't like guesswork. I like to put money where we're getting the most bang for our buck, so I'm very happy to commit to that.
Councillor?
Thank you. Just a quick comment on the radio station. Even people I talked to weren't sure, which radio station we should be tuning into. Some education ongoing. Part of your revamp of the crisis communications protocol, no doubt, will be notifying residents, annually or every 6 months about in case of crisis, here's the go-to radio station. Whether it be the Jewel or 680, I really don't care. I just need to know the radio station so I can tell people which to listen to. The community survey, how often do you see that being done? And will that be done by outside professionals?
Mr. Kemp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I may defer some of that to Mr. Garby, as that does not fall under me. I would get hopefully a portion of that survey. That's intended to be a third-party survey. The only way that we can really validate is to have a professional surveying company do this. It's third-party, it's objective, there are no interests on the table, and it's just fact-finding. So that's my understanding, Mr. Garby. I don't know if you want to speak any further to that.
One final question, and will the new website incorporate push technology so people can come in and sign up for text messages or email messages on topics that concern them?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes. It's on the HTML5 platform, which I know certain members of council are well acquainted with. It's a far more robust platform than we have. We're using 2005 technology, and we're showing our age. So we have the ability for far more interaction on this site, and that's one example that the technology affords us.
Thank you.
Councillor Abel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Kemp. It's quite a challenge, and one with the ice storm 2013 brings to forefront how important communication is. I see the mix of technologies, the old print, we never talk about it, but good old-fashioned neighbors talking over one another, I found in the ice storm was very important. A lot of people went outside their door to, what have you heard and what can you do, and things like that. So I have a couple of comments. So one is the web page. Once that gets driven, I think as we go along, that will be the primary source, and references are always made there in our notice board and such. And then we can use the social media, which is growing and is an integral part now of communication. And I'm pleased to see all that. It's hard to gauge. But we have been waiting for a new web page, and we won't go into all that. But it's good to hear that it should be delivered by March, I think, end of March.
April, May time frame.
April, May, okay. We used to send out, or I used to get a card in a notification of emergency response numbers, and I think adding emergency protocol, just 1 or 2 lines, counselors, radio station, key points, so that when people put that on their board, if it's a magnet or something, at least they can get that once or twice. That might be helpful. Maybe in the welcoming, I think we could do a welcoming basket still along those lines. So maybe there's some way to get that information in the hands of people. People will typically say, there's a blackout, no electricity. How do I get that information? So I think the challenge is that they should have that information beforehand. And I think 2013 showed that we can get severe rain, torrential rains, and that may cause, and then we had a nice storm. It seems that the weather and the climate are getting a little more volatile more often. And so I think having recognized that, if that's acceptable, but it's my comment, we should be prepared for more instances of blackouts. It may not just be our community. Blackouts may be caused somewhere down the line. I think the great ice storm, and we had another blackout in the summer in August a few years back, shows that we can be affected with something that happened in Ohio or something along those lines. So we should always be bringing out and communicating that. I think councillors should do that as well. The first thing I did in the ice storm, when I woke up on the Sunday morning, the 22nd, and I was fully prepared, I wasn't surprised, was I called the mayor and contacted him and said, you'll be the point person. I think all councillors should know that as well. That allows information right from the mayor, right from the chief, right from Power Stream, right into your hands so that you can find ways to get that out as well. And I know a few of us councillors were using social media for that, as well as going out and taking phone calls. I think it was important in the blackout, and I didn't realize, the old phone, not the power cordless ones, but the old phones plugged in and worked. That's something that should be on a card as well. Did you know that? I went down into my basement and dug out a phone. I was amazed at how many years it's been. We've been using handheld cordless phones in our house. So that became a prime source as well. So those are the sort of information that we should get to people. Did you realize questions? And councillors should be made aware of the communication chain as well. But key to all that is our website. I think that will drive all the information that we need and get the top programming. And you've alluded to that. And Councillor Ballard brought up something I didn't even realize existed. And that's that by pushing things that they can immediately be brought in on other social media chains. And, ask people, if you want to leave your phone number, that's so you're part of a chain in the event of an emergency. Your phone will ring and the robocall will come out and explain and ask you to talk to your neighbors. Excuse me. So those are some of my comments.
Thank you, Councillor. Mr. Kemp, perhaps somewhat tongue-in-cheekish, I should say that you should just put your communications out as sensational sound bites, because that seems to get more traction than actual facts that we like to put out. A couple of points, and I had talked to one person during the power outage who had no idea what the jewel was. So, which I found kind of interesting, but that's, depends what you listen to, obviously, because I was on both TV and radio, but I was on the local radio station, which obviously not a lot of people listen to, so maybe that's a bug in the ear of the people at Jewel. They need to do a bit more advertising. But in a power outage, most people's radios don't work either. So whether, and not a lot of people, I suspect, have either battery radios, battery operated, or the crank radios. And people like Mountain Equipment Co-op and Lee Valley Tools sell. So maybe as we put together a package, a revised emergency package, perhaps we could put out, okay, here's, a radio's great, but, it should be a crank-up radio. And here's some spots where you can get one, perhaps. It might be something that's valuable. We talk about voice response systems, automatic voice response system, or push technology on the phone. Although again, people who switch to home phone, if the internet's out, then that's not going to work either. So, one of the things actually I learned through the ice shortage is that people seem to have abdicated responsibility for themselves to a certain degree. And you are to be prepared for 72 hours. That is your responsibility. And a lot of us have forgotten that. And I know that the chief is going to come in February and just sort of give us an update on what our personal responsibilities are on that. And I think that's really important. A couple of questions. If you could go to slide 3, please. Nope. Is that slide 3? No. Next, or maybe 2, if you're not counting the title page. Go up one. That's it. The 19,000, which is the advertising from Parks and Recs, is that new or is that moving over from Parks and Rec? I wasn't quite sure.
Mr. Mayor, that's moving over from Parks and Recreation. Mr. Garby, Mr. Downey, and I sat down and we took a look. It's the one element here that is not under corporate communications. We had multiple people doing the same job. I saw the opportunity for efficiencies there.
Thank you. One question that I had is the live streaming, which for the most part has worked well, but we do have hiccups on it. So are we investigating what those hiccups are and why they're occurring?
Mr. Mayor, through you to Council, yes, it's been very successful, but you're right, there is the odd hiccup. The live stream, since its inception, has failed a grand total of twice, one of which was a complete system shutdown here in Council Chamber one evening, and the other one seems to have been a Windows glitch. For benefit of members of Council, IT Services did a full reboot of the Council computer. It was having some troubles at the end of last year. So I rebuilt the streaming in January, and we did have one hiccup that's been rectified.
Perhaps you could make a note to update at some point with, if you have any metrics as to how many times we've been on, how many times it's failed. So 2 is good. How many people watch it on a regular basis? I think it would be handy if we had some of those metrics. And certainly, I think you've heard the concerns of council that, and I suspect you have the same, where you've expressed the same concerns as to how do we know our advertising is effective. So we'd certainly like some feedback on that. I've now got Councillor Gartner and then back to Councillor Thompson.
Thank you. There's been some great comments around the table about how we should try and function better in emergencies, and I think everything that we can do, we should do. One of the main issues I had about the ice storm was that there were people without power that did not know anything about the warming center. So, and I know if we have a real emergency, the senior center is going to be the emergency control center. So I think we need to find a place where people can come if they're in need, and then we have to make sure that the people really know about that. With respect to the advertising being effective, I'd like to have another look at the report Mr. Ballantyne gave us a few years ago. I don't know if it was this council or the last council, but Councillor Thompson said we started out in this process a few years ago, 2011, and I think that was a report from Mr. Ballantyne, but I'm not sure. I'd like to have another look at. I'd like council to have another look at that.
What reports? Because I'm not familiar with this. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. With respect to the advertising in the second slide on page 1, it goes the actual estimated versus actual. There's a change of 121,500 to 148. The parks, part of that is the slide of parks to your budget, which was $19,000, I believe. So what else would be in that? The change in the adjusted.
Mr. Mayor, through you, I think part of the confusion that stemmed from Mr. Garby's presentation was that we have adjusted budget numbers. So, and I can certainly let Mr. Gartner speak to it a little further, but what they did was once the $19,000 was transferred from Parks and Recreation for special events, it was reflected in adjusted budget numbers going back for 2013 and 2012, which made it appear that there's a significant gap of $19,000. That does include that $19,000.
Did you just say that 2012 adjusted is in the 2013 budget?
Did you want to speak to that?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to whoever?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure who's going to answer it, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Kemp.
I might defer that to Mr. Elliott or Mr. Gartner.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
I'm just looking at page 1, the overview slide under advertising. It was 121,500. It's been adjusted to 148. So that's a change of 26.5, and 19 of that is the advertising budget. So what else would be in that adjusted?
Mr. Kemp spoke earlier. Actually, you're looking at the 2013 budget was 148, and he has reduced it to 138 by $10,000. I believe that was on the HR side. The 2013 actuals were 121, and that was an area where there was some moderation in the spending program in an effort to address our surplus deficit issue late in the year.
Late in the year. Thank you. What I've noticed with respect to the notice board over the last couple of years is that sometimes there seems to be room on the notice board to do all of our advertising, and yet we have a half-page or a full-page ad for a special event. I'm not clear whether the Auroran is giving that to us for free, or if not, I think every attempt should be made to fit everything onto the notice board page. Sometimes the things on the notice board page are very large and they don't need to be. It's something that's been bothering me, because if we are using extra money for an extra page or half page, we need to make sure that it's really necessary. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Garby or Mr. Kemp, does the Auroran give us, I remember I mentioned that Auroran was giving us some extra space for free.
Mr. Kemp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, I couldn't agree more with respect to advertisements appearing when we may have space in the notice board. One of the challenges we have with other departments doing advertising, only one department does advertising, that's the 19,000. Part of what I identified as that process bringing into corporate communications is we could find efficiencies. We are not working at cross purposes with Parks and Rec staff. When we have two separate groups doing the same work, it provides an opportunity for overlap, and I think there can be efficiencies there. My inclination is the same as Councillor Gardner's, which is to use the notice board, which we are contractually obligated to pay for, and try and pull back any ads that would be viewed as unnecessary. So that's what I'm hoping to do by adding the $19,000 into the budget this year.
Thank you. And follow up. And that is also public perception. Sometimes it's on the notice board, and then there's also a big ad across the page from it. And I think that looks like it's wasting money. Whether it is or not, I'm not sure. There was no comment on additional free from the banner. Is that in our contract? Sorry, from the Auroran?
Mr. Kemp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, as part of the notice board contract we have with the Auroran, we have 8 quarter-page spaces over the course of the 2-year term. They've been very flexible with us as well. Should we require a half page, they're not sticklers for sticking to the quarter page. We just use 2 quarter pages in that instance. We've used, if memory serves, 5 of 8 of those, and the agreement comes up for renewal in October.
Thank you. I certainly think that some of that space could be used with respect to emergency management information going out to the public. On page 4, I didn't catch what you said. $5,000 from strategic initiatives for executive-style merchandise. That's on the Changes 2012-2014 slide.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, yes. In the 2012 budget, $5,000 was transferred from the strategic initiatives budget to corporate communications for merchandise. And the intention of that, the line item existed with Mr. Irulo's budget. It was more for things such as trade delegations, visiting dignitaries, and so forth. So that's reflected as executive-style merchandise.
Thank you, because we do have $12,000 in the budget already for corporate merchandise. And this is an extra 5. Corporate merchandise, executive-style merchandise, to
Mr.
me
Kemp,
that
through
means
you,
the
Mr.
same
Mayor.
thing.
Merchandise is merchandise, but yes, and we've done deferrals in both years as part of the corporate effort to pare down efforts. So I'm eager to stock the cupboard, as it were.
Thank you. And just one comment on the variances. It's on page 4, bottom chart. So this is what I believe Mr. Elliott was referring to a few minutes ago. So late in the game, we decided to reduce, not spend or reduce these budgets.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
Mr. Garby explained that in detail when we started the budget process. Mr. Garby or Mr. Elliott explained that.
Yeah.
Correct. My point is, if we were able to find $27,000 late in the game, maybe we should be finding that at the beginning of the game.
I've got Councillor Humphreys.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning. Just a question on the transfer of advertising responsibility for Parks and Rec over to communications, which I think is the right thing to do for sure. But I certainly don't want to lose the sort of the quality, not to suggest that there isn't, but Parks and Rec have some really wonderful events that get out in the public. How is that transition going to work so that we don't lose anything or things don't fall through the cracks? I just want to make sure that that we utilize the space, as Councillor Gartner suggested, maybe efficiently, but not lose any of the events that get publicized to our community.
Mr. Kemp.
Thank you for the comment. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Corporate communications was doing 90 to 95% of the work already, but it was a duty that was split between 2 different working groups, and booking for those ads was taking place in 2 separate departments. I think Councillor Gartner's comment is well placed. We have 2 people doing the same task. We're doing the lion's share of the work. If we do a little bit further effort, we could be freeing up Ms. Ware to focus on the events and not have to deal with the advertising portion. As an agreement with Mr. Downey and his group as part of this, we're working very closely. We work on a daily basis with Mr. Downey's group, and all of the creative elements that go forth as part of our special events budget are all done in correspondence with Ms. Ware, Ms. McKay, with Mr. Downey. They have full approval. They can make changes as they see fit. Part of what I tried to do with this as well is integrate it into an overall communications and marketing plan. What we're trying to do as well, as has been mentioned around the table, is coordinate our print efforts better with our online efforts and our social media efforts. That means we need to have a consistent branding right across. So what we're doing now, bringing this all under one roof, is we're developing a suite of creative products per special events. That includes things for a notice board, things creative for advertisements, creative for our website, creative images tailored to suit Facebook properly with their dimensions, tailored to fit Twitter. Going in with that and then just running a campaign with all of that material and using that. We're also going to be tracking the results of the effort. As those familiar with Twitter are aware, you can track by using hashtags. We've branded a hashtag for 2014 for all of our events. So we're going to be monitoring that and responding through that channel. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It's all under one roof now. It's more efficient, but we're not going to lose the creative flair that our special events folks bring.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's great information. And you touched on something, and I'm not going to say too much, so I don't want to, in case I'm repeating, I was late, my apologies. But just reporting out on how we're doing, how effective communications are, how many people are we reaching, how's streaming going. We talked a little bit about perhaps scorecard reporting and how we're doing in different areas of our organization with the strategic plan and perhaps in communication. So maybe there's a thought that maybe once a quarter, I don't want to make it just a high level, how are we doing with the different methods of communication, how are we reaching, how do we think we're doing on that? I think would be a great gauge, because I believe you and your department have absolutely moved us forward quite a bit in the last few years, and I want to thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to getting to that next step with the new web and integrating the rest of the media. And the push communications that Councillor Ballard and Councillor Abel mentioned earlier, absolutely a great idea, I think, for those in our community that want to have that information coming at them when they need it. So thanks.
I've got Councillor Thompson, Councillor Abel.
Thank you. Through to Mr. Kemp, just to touch base quickly on the web update. I mean, you've heard around the table, we're all anxious to see it happening. I mean, it was a 2011 project that's now stretched into 2014 for various reasons. But I know Mr. Garby provided us an update in November, and one of the things he touched upon was the fact that it was split into two parts. We had trouble with the content management system. My question really is more around the whole design process, because the design process was completed early in 2013. That'd be a year now by the time it's rolled out. Is there any concerns that part of the look or setup is essentially already outdated by the time we get out there? And if so, what are we doing to make sure that it isn't?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't have any concerns on the creative elements of it. It's a fresh-looking site. Some members of council were part of the discussion forums we used in bringing that forward. Sites tend to reflect a certain corporate style, especially with respect to municipalities, and our new format is consistent with many of the other municipalities that have modern sites. It integrates, for example, and I follow Councillor Abel's comments, it integrates a variety of things so that you don't have to look for information. Much of it is going to be in your face, on the front page, lots of images. Our social media feeds are integrated into the new design. You don't even have to go to Facebook or Twitter. You can get them off of there if you so choose. I don't have any concerns at this point. It is unfortunate we had a hiccup with the coding of the site, and that's the element that we're going to be focusing on in the coming months. And I'm echoing the comments I'm hearing here. I'm very eager. We are handcuffed by what we can do with our existing site, and I'm looking forward to breaking those handcuffs.
Councillor Abel, Councillor Humphreys.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I noticed on the page with the overview on the budget numbers, just a couple of quick questions. 2012 to 2013 personnel costs, we added one more personnel to the communications department?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we haven't changed the staff complement.
But I'm going back to 2012. I know from 2013 to this year you did not.
Mr. Kemp?
Are you looking at this? So the actuals are 334 to 403?
I may defer some of this to Mr. Garby, as I did not participate in that budget. That was prior to my arrival here. The only variance I could see from that is the web coordinator position.
Mr. Garby?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the difference between the actuals 2012 and the budget 2013 is a gap position. There was an absence in that, so that's the difference.
And so from 2013 actuals 4,006 to the draft budget for 2014 is $418,000, which represents $12,000 approximately, which would, in my mind, be a 3% Is that's due to the QP or the benefits? Perhaps that's through Mr. Elliott.
Mr. Kemp, you want to take a stab at that? Oh, Mr. Elliott? Mr. Garvey? Somebody?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the difference, the budget 2013 to budget 2014, is that the question?
No, the actuals.
On personnel?
You're almost there.
Personnel costs.
On personnel costs. It is strictly the increases for statutory deductions, pensions, and step allowances, and COLA, up on the personnel level.
And that's straight across on all personnel?
It's straight across all departments except those where we're asking for new staff.
And just remind me the effect that has on the baseline for our tax rate. It's a pressure that you go through.
It's 2.09% across the board.
So if we had a 3% increase in tax rate this year, we could say 2% was for the baseline that's affected right across the board, which is increase in benefit deductions and cost of living allowance.
The total cost for the existing staff complement is 2.09% tax rate pressure, but that has been offset further down on the page. I'm looking at a schedule or attachment 2 of my opening budget report, and it shows 209, but further down on the page is the growth revenue. So you have to weigh. We have growth revenue from a growing community, and we have staff at 2.09. So
okay, and fair enough. That's the overview.
There's puts and takes, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There's puts and takes in getting to the bottom line where we started at 3.77.
And fair enough, but I just wanted to know the pressure, and that's one of them. So I see 3% here, but overall, because of capital and growth and operational, only 2.09 is affected on the overall tax rate. So if I had to explain to people, well, yeah, but we right away come right off the bat with a 2.09% for these reasons on personnel and operation, that is a pressure we have to deal with when we're coming to budget. It's not because we're throwing money out or made decisions or anything. That is borne out there, and that's what that 18,000 represents there. The hashtag for the events. Do you have is it Aurora Events hashtag?
It's through you, Mr. Mayor, Aurora Events 2014.
Thank you.
Aurora Events was taken.
Okay.
It's a promotion company somewhere in the States.
Well, that's right. And when you hit Aurora, you're all over the world. There's a booklet that comes out, I think it's twice a year, that gives winter all the programs from the Parks and Rec. And it's an insert, and it goes through all the programs that are offered, and it's a nice thing. Is that part of that 19,000 from Parks and Rec?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, no.
No.
There's a separate budget in Parks and Rec for that. This is strictly advertising relating to special events.
Thank you.
Councillor Gallo, then I'll go back to Councillor Humphreys.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, without repeating some of the other comments, I share the concerns in terms of tracking business plan, in terms of advertising and why we're doing what we're doing. And I believe this is the third year that I've brought that issue up, and I realize you haven't been here for the first one, particularly in terms of the publications that we advertise in, and we hear these concerns, and I'm not sure how we're intending on fixing them. This is our last budget in terms of where we sit currently, and how we could. I just, maybe this isn't necessarily a question. Well, I'll get to my question first, and I'll describe what I'm trying to communicate. In terms of the 3 publications, have we signed any contracts with any of them?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we have signed contracts with the Auroran and with Snapped Aurora for advertising. We don't have any other signed agreements.
So why would we have signed a contract with Snapped Aurora before approval? I had this issue last year with one of the other publications that we signed an advertising contract with without council approval of the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm happy to defer to Mr. Garby, but my understanding is that that is something that's done at a staff level in consultation with the CAO. Mr. Garby, do you want to comment on that?
Through Mr. Mayor, we've had conversations about the sport magazines. I don't ever remember Snapped being an issue. It's a staff function that we normally do. The cost is $4,800. I'm not sure the terms of when we would have signed for 2014, but it was never an issue, and so that's why we did it that way.
Councillor?
Maybe I should have been clear, and maybe it's my error that I didn't have, when I brought this up last year, I didn't have an issue with a particular magazine in terms of withholding signing a contract until council approves the budget. I had an issue with the process that we're being asked to. We break them down and you're communicating to us what the various amounts are for the various publications. I don't understand even the point of that if we're going to go off and sign contracts anyway. It's that concept of you get approval and then you move forward with issuing the contracts. It wasn't specific to a particular publication. It was an issue with the way we go about doing things, and I quite honestly continue to have that issue, and we're sitting here asking to approve a advertising budget, and it appears we all have the same concerns about how we're going about doing this, what benefit we're having. We're digging into people's pockets, spending their money, yet we have very little to say what the value is to those dollars. And quite honestly, there's only one way to change that, and that happens on this side of the table. And I'm afraid that's not happening to the extent that I would like. I think it's the responsibility of council to communicate to staff and let them know where they're going wrong, and for us to make them accountable. And I don't believe we're doing that.
Councillor Humphreys. Any other comments or questions? Last time, Councillor Gartner.
Do I remember a comment from last week about Blades of Grass that it wasn't publishing this year? Or did I completely get that wrong?
It's a brand new publication, Mr. Kemp. It's a brand new publication.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's a new publication, and then I got a call from them last week. They're looking to see if we're interested in advertising with them. They submitted a proposal to Mr. Downey several weeks ago that I've reviewed, but I brought the conversation to council for consideration.
Why would we go, through you, Mr. Mayor, why would we go in a completely new publication that hasn't proved itself?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I've had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Garby about this, and should it be acceptable to council following this conversation, we will not be substituting advertisement in Sport in Aurora, which has been a traditional channel for us, and we've done it many years. We thought we would dip our foot into the water, as it were, and try a partial advertising with them 3 times this year.
Thank you.
Councillor. All in favor of receiving Mr. Kemp's presentation? Contrary? That's carried. Mr. Clerk, so we would then go back to the communications budget? Because that was... So that was in the CAO's budget, which was given tentative approval pending Mr. Kemp's presentation, I believe. So that motion was on the floor. I believe.
For the CAO's budget?
Yeah.
I suggest you put it back on.
Okay, so Mr. Clerk is suggesting we put that back on the floor, just to be entirely clear. If someone would move that, please. Councillor Thompson, thank you. Councillor Abel, thank you. Any comments or questions on the specific budget? Okay, Councillor Gardner, Councillor Thompson.
My apologies, I may be a little lost here. This is, what we've just heard is $138,000. And
No,
Through you,
we're
Mr.
back.
Mayor, that's
we're
I know,
now
but what we've just been looking at is $138,000, and now
we're now.
we're in the admin department. It's $172. So that
goes to Mr. Garvey.
So that means an extra $34,000 to Mr. Garvey's department?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that is a combination of the two items that Mr. Kemp spent this whole presentation on, 138 in advertising and 34 in the corporate promotions. So 138 plus 34 is 172.
And the corporate promotions includes material, executive
all
material?
All of the items that were listed in the presentation.
Thank you.
On page 3 of the slide deck.
Thank you.
Councillor Thompson?
I'm just going to go back to my original point that, I'm fine with staff making that determination on where best to spend that money and us approving that overall budget. But I would like to see us come back to that strategic report from 2011. I'd like to see, where we stack up today versus what we said we were going to do in 2011, especially around those measurables and the objectives that were set forth. So I'm sort of looking to you, Mr. Garvey, that in some point in 2014 that a report be brought back to us with relation to our corporate communications and that 2011 strategic report.
Do you have a sense when you'd like to see that, Councillor?
No, I don't know. I don't know how many other things Mr. Garvey's got on the go, or Mr. Kemp, but I definitely think that at some point that needs to come back to us so that, for myself, I have a better understanding of whether or not the money that we are allocating to these initiatives are being utilized most effectively. If we're not spending enough or spending too much, so be it, then we can provide some direction back to staff. But I think that we need to come back to the beginning of the strategic report and say, okay, this is what we agreed we were going to do. These are the initiatives. Where are we today?
Mr. Garvey, could we see that before the May-June timeframe?
I think that's something that we could do, is review that document and bring something forward.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor, then? Contrary? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. Appreciate you coming down. Council, Building and Bylaw Services. Ms. Van Leeuwen. We've already received the presentation, and I'm sorry I don't have the tab number off the top of my head.
To you, Mr. Mayor, it's tab 10.
Thank you. Tab 10. Did the presentation already? If someone would put the motion on the floor, please, so we can discuss it. Councillor Gardner and Abel. Humphreys, excuse me. Councillors Gardner and Humphreys. You don't even look like Councillor Abel.
Is that a motion to approve that budget?
No, let's just put it on the floor. Yes. Yeah, that one. Approve as presented. Thank you. Questions for Ms. Van Leeuwen? Should I just call the vote? Well, if there's no comments or questions, Councillor Gardner.
Thank you, Ms. Van Leeuwen. On page 10.2, under Access Aurora in the middle of the page, I just wanted to know how that's working and how it's working with the emails and how we're doing with our internal controls for cashiering. Anything we get in cash?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. It's working extremely well. In the months of November and December, the cashiering function took in over $3 million in payments and successfully balanced. So the internal controls, we've worked with Dan and his group to transition. And in terms of the emails, we have a Access Aurora general information email. So we are receiving emails on a daily basis and then either responding to them if it's a general inquiry or forwarding them off to the department who have that expert knowledge in-house. Similarly with the phone calls, on average they are receiving about 700 phone calls a week.
What is the turnaround response time for those phone calls that have to get forwarded in the emails?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Part of the customer service strategy was developing corporate customer service standards. Response times to phone calls are 24 hours. Typically, I suggest that they exceed those and answer those calls within the same day.
Thank you. And I'm sure there were a lot of challenges during the ice storm.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, and volumes were high. And in terms of what customer service has developed in terms of batching information for the service departments has worked out extremely well. So, every hour they will collect the information in terms of where the trees are down, where the issues are, batch them and send them over to the individual departments who are dealing with that. So it has assisted those departments in terms of just creating some efficiencies and not having to respond to those calls. If it's 25 calls in that hour, they're just getting one batched information in terms of where the issues are.
Thank you. And how is customer service working with communications? Is there a link back and forth? Is everybody checking in constantly to make sure the messages are going out appropriately?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, customer service has been actively working with corporate communications. We realize that there's some opportunities going forward, and in fact we have a meeting set up within the next 2 weeks to talk about what those opportunities and what that protocol might look like for corporate messaging.
Thank you.
Councillor?
Page 10.4, the chart under other expenditures. So we go from 962 adjusted 2013 to 868. So we're going down. And then we have a very low estimated for 2013. Can you speak to that?
Ms. Van Loon?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. This is a combined chart, so it includes building, which is, as you know, is a little bit different. And so this includes expenditures for the overhead allocation, which has decreased due to a recalculation of what those actual indirect costs are associated with building permits. So that's part of the reason for the reduction.
Is there another part?
There has been a reduction in some of the other expenditures, minor in nature, such as training and just like office supplies, things like that. But the bulk of the reduction in the expenditures is due to that overhead allocation recalculation.
Thank you. And on page 1011, So we're looking just at the customer service department. Under personnel costs, again, if you look at the 2013 budget adjusted, estimated, and 2014 draft budget, I'm not sure why we've gone, can you just speak to that? How the number for 2014 came up?
Ms. Sandler?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So the personnel costs are for the manager, and there are 3 customer service reps. There's also a small budget for part-time staff for coverage. The 2013 estimated may have included an additional resource, but it was not realized. We have now established what our total resources for that unit is, and it is 1 manager and 3 customer service reps.
Thank you. And those 3 customer service reps had positions, other positions, or were already employed by the corporation?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's correct. They were internally recruited.
Thank you. So through you, Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Elliott, and I think you spoke about this. So where would we see and I think it was only a partial, I don't remember, but can you tell me where the reductions are in our budget for moving those people over here?
We have restated the 2013 budgets to move those dollars so that the dollars are where the people are today. But 2 of the positions came from my department, 1 of the positions came from Customer and Legislative Services, and Ivy has always been in Tasha's area.
Thank you.
Councillor Humphreys?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a forecast pressure of the annualization of licensing and court administrator. What's putting that pressure on your department for that new resource? I mean, I get the gist of it, but is it a brand new role?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's a request for a new position in this budget, budgeted from June 1st going forward. So the pressure for next year will be in the annualization, if approved. The pressure is really growth related in bylaw services, and as well going into 2C development, where building inspectors are going to feel a lot of pressure with volumes, a lot of construction activity, high workloads. And in bylaw services, as we continue to grow, there is increased demand and public expectation in terms of our responding to those complaints and those issues. So currently our bylaw officers spend time in the office issuing licenses, doing a lot of administration, and so approximately 50% of 1 full-time employee is just focused on doing that work. We would like to create this new position and enable our officers to be visible in the community, responding to those issues, maybe taking more of an active enforcement role, as well as court administration, and in moving into our ICE program a couple of years ago, which is it's an acronym for Inspections, Compliance, Enforcement. Preparing documents for court and court proceedings are very time consuming. So that's the position.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, it sounds like you need it. We're going to need it, and it's a nice focus, and it keeps the bylaw officers outside doing what we need them to do. And I know they're really busy, so that's great. And your additional ask for the customer service representative, is that just changing of functions internally and not really a financial pressure?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's a request for next year. It's not this year. It's a pressure that I'm foreseeing next year. As we continue to grow in the customer service unit, the volumes are high, and that is going to be the challenge, is to maintain that customer service standard.
Perfect. And thank you. And last but not least, just a question, Mr. Mayor, through Mr. Mayor. I wasn't sure if this is the right place to bring it up or not. It might be different, but from I know that we did a property standards improvement for the our historical buildings or properties. And is there any further work that will be done in terms of what other initiatives we can do to assist property owners to keep their properties in good standard? Is this the right forum for that, or is it done differently?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to respond to that. I believe it's as part of the community improvement plan that planning has been working on.
Councillor Thompson.
Thank you. Through you to Mrs. Van Leeuwen. I'm looking at the blue pages 10-5. Just a question around the animal control contract. So 2013, we entered into a contract with OSPCA. It was a 3-year contract. The cost, when I look at the report, was $202,000, and it was supposed to be indexed to CPI. But I see for 2014 you have a budget for $220,000. Are there additional costs over and above the contract that are not being reflected?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, the emergency call-out provisions in the contract are over and above the cost of the contract. So we've realized that over this past year, it's about $8,000 to $10,000 in emergency call-outs.
And then just in general, I know we've, throughout this term, that issue has come before us. We've extended the contract. We've done it. I'm just wondering, are we starting to give consideration now or looking at what will be the options at the conclusion of this contract for 2015 as part of that sort of, I guess, strategic plan for your department going forward in 2014?
Ms. Sandlin?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's an ongoing issue. You know, at the time, a couple of years ago, we did look at possible partnerships with other municipalities. What we have done is we've created an oversight committee with Richmond Hill, Markham, and ourselves as we all contract to OSPCA. So that is something that started at the beginning of this year. So discussions going forward are possible within that committee. It's always something that's on our radar to consider what options are available. There are limited options, so I can tell you.
And I appreciate that, and I know that's always been the information before, and I'm glad to see that there's an oversight committee that discussions are always ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you. Just before I go to Councillor Abel, you said emergency call-out. Could you describe what that is?
To you, Mr. Mayor. So if there's a dog running at large in the middle of the night and OSPCA receives a call, they do go and attend to that. And it's over and above their regular contracted duties.
Thank you. Councillor Abel.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Humphreys was touching on a bit of what I wanted to comment about, and that is the enforcement. I find it's a bit of a pet peeve I have is with people taking the end of their snow windrow and throwing it back onto the road, and similarly with leaves. I mean, it amazes me, but people will blow the leaves off their yard onto the road and let the wind take it down to their neighbors. And those are contrary to the bylaw, and we have enforcement for that. And I noticed the special people in our town that they do it on the weekends when there's no enforcement. So when I see it, I don't think it's a councillor's job to roll his window down and get into a conversation with them. I don't see it as a win-win, although I am tempted. I would phone into the town and say who I am and the address where I am. But if I do that on a Saturday, the response would be on a Monday or Tuesday. In my mind, I know there are enforcement officers on the weekend, but the window to catch the person in the act is minimal, and that response time. So, and I think the people that do it know that, you know what, I can throw the snow on there, but 30 cars are going to go by in the next 40 minutes, an hour, and you won't even be able to kind of notice it. So I do get people in conversations saying, there's no enforcement. Not specifically to what I've just talked about. But you did mention that this new licensing officer, court administrator, is going to enable a bigger presence going around for the bylaw enforcement. So I'm pleased to hear that. Could I get your comment on that? And then the last thing, while we're talking about it, if they are going around, there's more enforcement. This position, this new licensing, would obviously, if there's more enforcement, there would be more revenue coming in. So would that be a fair comment as well? To offset that position?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the first comment, we do have officers who are scheduled for weekends and evenings. It's not necessarily 24/7, but we do have scheduled officers. And realizing that contacting them on the weekends is an issue, we have recently changed the protocol. We now have, if you call in on the weekends, it goes to a live call center, and we've established a protocol to which they call out 3 times to the officers who now carry pagers in 30 minutes. And if there's no response, it's escalated to the manager of bylaw services to reach out to them. So we have just recently made that change in our after-hours protocol. So that should improve our response times on the weekends. And the second question was about... Revenue, thank you. Yes, typically where you increase your enforcement efforts in the community, there is an increase in revenues, just in fines and penalties that are imposed by the courts. There comes a point, I think, though, where if you're extremely effective in bylaw services and enforcement, that you actually may see a decline, because you're so effective and people are aware and they're educated and they're compliant. But I would suggest that initially, yes, there would be an increase in revenue.
And that's what I'm suggesting and knowing that, then perhaps I will allow that opportunity on the weekend for the enforcement to go by and educate the people that, you know what, here in Aurora, in fact, everywhere in the world, we don't blow our leaves on the roads. All right. And the corporate messaging, and it's a comment, and it was dealt, again, Councillor Humphreys, I think, brought it up, was the message at the customer service that take the frontline calls, and I'll use for an example, garbage pickup. That was supposed to, was 1 day delayed because of the several reasons. So I would phone in, I would say, okay, you know, my Tuesday pickup wasn't done on Wednesday. I know I'm going to get lots of calls in my area saying, hey, that wasn't picked up. So I phone in at and say, you know, what can you tell me? So I can tell well, it should have been picked up. But the real answer was, well, GFL has notified us that they didn't get all the quadrant. They'll be doing it first thing in the morning, so it should be done by noon. And that information should be relayed like first thing in the morning, like a checklist. Where's GFL? Am I clear on that sort of? Rather than me saying, have you heard from GFL? I would think that when they came in the morning saying, okay, what's this crisis at? Where are we? Okay, they still haven't caught up. And have that answer right there rather than going through the exercise of trying to get through GFL, which was not easy, and getting a response back from them and then back out, like a good hour and a half delay sort of idea. Is that part of the strategy moving forward to do that sort of?
Ms. Anlin?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, absolutely. I think there are lots of opportunities to improve our corporate messaging. I know GFL was a large challenge. I can tell you customer service is working with individual departments to script messaging where we have identified that there's an issue. One of the ones that comes to mind that may have been a little more successful is when Parks and Rec was opening their outdoor rinks, and there was some delays due to weather, and so customer service worked with Parks and Rec to develop that script so that when people called in, we were able to respond to that immediately without having to transfer those calls.
Good, and I think that's where you will want to be is ahead of the ball rather than reacting on certain instances where we can. And the last comment, and it's about the SPCA, the fines levied. So if a dog runs out of the house and bites a dog, it's $1,000 in fines. Is that to me is like excessive. And we've seen that. Is that up for review coming down, or is that just set by the province, or how does that work?
Ms. Van Loon?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, those are set fines that are established by the courts. So if we go forward, we submit an application because we want a set fine for a dog bite, or it could be any bylaw-related contravention. So we have them for buildings as well, building without a permit. They typically run from about $350 to $1,000. We submit the request for the set fine, and then the courts approve it based on whether or not it's reasonable and not excessive.
Councillor?
So, and last question, so it's Aurora that sets that price?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's through an application to the courts, and yes, we do request what that set fine may be, and then the courts approve it. Sometimes, if we requested a set fine of $750 for a dog bite, for example, and the courts determined that was unreasonable and excessive, then they would reduce that set fine.
And that would be up to the person to go to court and appeal that, or to the court and say, that, I settled with my neighbor and they had no idea that was going to be part of the. I think the people that make the complaint have no idea of the amount of money that is going to be transferring. So I know firsthand that when that happened, the people didn't complain, but someone else had on their behalf. And I'm astonished that a dog at large was $325 and a dog bite was $600. And we more or less taken an education approach where we can. Sometimes there's some action, but it just seems a bit hard, a bit steep when you look at other sort of fines. I think reasonable would be a third of that for a dog at large and a bite. $300 seems to me to be reasonable rather than $1,000, which is ghastly. It's just a comment. But if there's no will and no direction from council to you, then there's no reason for you to apply that. So perhaps it's a different discussion at a different time.
Other speakers? Councillor Buck?
I apologize for being late, Mr. Mayor, and if I ask a question that's been asked already, you can advise me. I'd like to follow up on Councillor Abel's comments about the purpose of fines. They're not intended as revenue generators. They're intended to stop people or to stop people from allowing their dogs and not take a chance that the dog will run it loose and will bite another dog. Toronto has just doubled their fines for parking on city streets. It's not a permit to park on city streets. It's to stop people from parking on city streets. If the fine is enough, then people will pretty soon educate themselves. And as far as the bylaws that apply to blowing snow out onto the road and blowing leaves, if you've got a leaf blower, you really don't have a lot of control over where the leaves are blowing. But if that's a practice that people have, and they think it's okay, maybe we should be thinking about that being okay. If people are doing it all the time, they think they've got a right. Well, who are we to say they don't? They're paying their taxes, and they think the streets belong to them, they're public rights of way, and the leaves blow anyway. So maybe we should be rethinking the numbers of bylaws.
Okay, I'm going to try and bring it back to the actual budget discussion, because we're not really talking fines at this point. I appreciate your point, and this is probably a discussion for another time.
Mayor, I just have to react to the comments, but I do have a couple of questions. As you know, I have never been enthusiastic about the customer service. And I'm listening to Ms. Van Leeuwen saying how much it is growing. And I recall the presentation that said it wouldn't cost us money. It wouldn't cost us more money, but now it's going to cost us more money. It's growing. And yet, the idea was there'd be greater efficiency and people would be better served. And but we have a manager, and I understand the salary on the grid for that manager's position is $108,000 a year. And that's in the budget, and I assume there'll be increases. So my question is, where did that position come from? The argument was it wouldn't cost more money because these positions would be drawn from other departments.
Okay, let me go to Ms. Van Leeuwen.
Where was that position drawn from?
Ms. Van Leeuwen?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the manager of customer service was approved by council. It initially was approved as a contract position for a program manager, and last year it was converted to a full-time manager of customer service.
Councillor?
But that negates the argument that the customer service program would not cost more money. And in fact, it's at least $108,000. And I have a concern that that isn't working as well as we thought it might. And Mr. Mayor, you and I had a meeting with a resident just before Christmas about a parking problem, or a traffic problem in his street. And a couple of months had been spent by the customer service manager trying to resolve the problem, which wasn't her responsibility. All she had to do was refer it to the traffic engineer. She didn't know that. She spent all that time trying to fix it. So I can't see that. If that's an example of what's going on. And also, I've heard that the problems, the ice storm, of course, generated huge problems for everyone in public service. But a lot of that was by the customer service trying to fix people's problems. It surely couldn't be the manager of the customer service that was responsible for responding to people's concerns about whether or not their garbage was picked up, or whether or not
is that a question, Councillor? Is that a question, or is that a question, or is that?
Yeah, it's a question. It's budget related, Mr. Mayor, and we don't have many opportunities to ask these questions. You insist that it's micromanaging, so I'm using this opportunity to.
I'm not saying you can't. I just didn't know if there was a question in there.
Yeah, the question is it working to your satisfaction? Because it's not working to mine, and it's your job to prove it to me.
Ms. Van Leeuwen?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. It is working to my satisfaction. It was launched November 1st. There are limited resources in the area, and there's a bit of a transition to be realized. In terms of the feedback from our internal customers, being the other departments, IES and Parks and Rec have provided excellent feedback in terms of the assistance that customer service is providing to them, particularly IES with the garbage and issues and snow clearing, that if there's a corporate message and that is communicated from IES to customer service and they're able to respond to those general inquiries, it is freeing up staff's time in IES to be out doing and doing what their day-to-day operations are in terms of clearing the snow, in terms of the ice storm when the trees were down. Customer service was batching those complaints and categorizing them and prioritizing them, and worked very closely with Parks and Rec. And the feedback was that it was very helpful as it removed those calls from those service areas and allowed them to be out doing what they need to do to resolve the issues.
Thank you. Excuse me, Councillor Buck, hold on, please. Council, I have to leave. I've got an emergency meeting at the region that I need to be there for 11. I'll be back about 12:30 or so. So we can either break now, or I'll pass the chair anyways. At any rate, I'm passing the chair to Councillor Abel.
Thank you, Mayor Dahl. Perhaps after Councillor Buck, we'll call a break. So, Councillor Buck, you can continue on. If you have a question, or
yeah, about the scripted message. I'm trying to bore down into the customer service, Mr. Chair. When you talk about, through you, Mr. Chair, to Ms. Van Leeuwen, when you talk about a scripted message, that's when a person calls, they get a voice machine, a voice message.
Ms. Van Leeuwen?
Through you, Councillor Abel. No, we're talking about where we've identified there's a hot topic, that customer service is working with the service department to script the message. So, for example, the outdoor ice rinks. We knew that there were some delays in opening the outdoor ice rinks. So Parks and Rec worked with customer service to identify what that scripted message would be, so that, and it was a hot topic for a couple of days, so that when those general inquiries came in, the messaging is consistent and dealt with in the customer service unit.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor?
There's another, and I haven't, you could maybe direct me to the page. Talking about additional staff because the 2C development is coming forward. Now, we know that the subdivision development has been practically nil for the last couple of years. So when you talk about the workload increasing, therefore we need more staff, it's increasing from what? If the workload decreased because we didn't have subdivision development, then the workload, and we didn't reduce the staff, we didn't reduce our costs, then when you have the workload being regenerated because of new subdivision development, it's not really new workload. It's replacing a workload that disappeared for a couple of years. I understand that you had $1 million in reserve to cover the years when you wouldn't have any revenue, because of course when the development isn't happening, your revenue drops, and your revenue is intended by government regulations to cover the cost of the service your department provides. I understand you drew down that reserve from $1 million right down to nothing.
Ms. Van Leeuwen?
Through you, Deputy Mayor. We have been drawing on the reserves. They are depleting. We have a vacancy, an approved vacancy in buildings that we have not filled because of the decreased construction activity. But in order to respond to timeframes going forward, we will need to fill it this year. Our plan was to fill it late at the end of last year. Knowing that 2C is coming on board, there was a slight delay in activity. Over the last month, we have received a number of model certifications and applications for building permit. So 2C is ramping up. In order to meet our legislative timeframes, we will need to fill that vacancy, which is approved and has always been in our budget. And the request for this position will support buildings in terms of the enforcement piece of it. So it will be the court administration preparing documents, preparing Crown briefs, meeting with the prosecutor, following up with the court documentation. So 20% will be funded through buildings, but it is a position that will be located in bylaw services.
Thank you.
And not recovered. It won't be featured as a part of the cost of doing business, and therefore you can't calculate it as part of the cost of doing business so that you recover it.
Through you, Deputy.
Except through the taxes. Sorry, didn't mean to distract you.
Through you, Deputy Mayor. It will be 20% funded by buildings. As 20%, I foresee 20% of the work that they will undertake to do will support the building division. The other 80% is licensing and bylaw enforcement related activities to bylaw services, so the other bylaws that we deal with.
All right. Councillor Buck, if I may, we've been here since 9. And we do have lunch scheduled for 12, so if we could take a short break, I'll allow you to continue if that's okay. And that gives us 12 minutes to come back for 11 o'clock, if that's okay with Council. Councillor Buck, thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Van Leeuwen. And we'll continue at 11 o'clock. And do I declare recess, Mr. Clerk?
You still look like coffee.
Council is recessed.
It's not going to get any better until you get prescription.
Motion to recess. Councillor Thompson seconded. Councillor Humphreys, all in favour? All in favour. That passes.
And
Thank you. We will resume in 12 minutes.
It takes 7 days.
I haven't taken antibiotics.
Well, did you read about those Tylenol things that the people, medical professional, are becoming concerned about the mix of drugs in the heavy Tylenol? I was taking that, and that does kidney damage. Anyway, for God's sake.
It's going away. It's not as bad.
Not going away. You keep telling yourself
They're just
that.
small coughs.
I had a family emergency. My son-in-law's in hospital with a leg infection that they're not able to. He's on a drip, and they're not able to.
How did you get that?
He's had vein problems since he was a teenager, and a couple of his boys have them, and his father has them. So he's had veins stripped, and he's got a job. He's on his feet all the time, and he doesn't go when he should. And then when he does go, they're having to keep him in hospital, in an isolation.
10 grand a day.
Yeah, but it's serious.
They'll kill him.
It could.
That's because he doesn't go when it's a little problem.
And they keep telling me, the minute your temperature spikes, you get in here. And he doesn't. He just keeps putting it off and putting it off.
So why did they put him in isolation? Because he's susceptible to...
It's a virus that is not responding to this heavy antibiotic.
Because if it's a virus,
they don't know why. Because
if it's a virus, viruses are viruses. They're not bacteria, so there's not much you can do.
Well, they think it's a virus. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking to doctors, and I'm trying hard not to think bad thoughts. Because nowadays there's so damn much stuff out there.
Well, one thing they do these days is when someone comes in like that, they just jump on them like a ton of bricks.
Run all those
they know
tests.
how fast it can get out of control. So it's not always worst case scenario because they move you into isolation.
Yeah. But this is the second time they've done that. He waits and waits, and then he goes in, and then they keep him in there and put him on a drip. Because they can't, the oral medication just isn't going to do it.
Once it's into your blood,
the blood thing is what worries me. Yeah. So, but this
miscommunications.
And some out there. So what do you do with it?
Guess what we did?
Gave him the time. Nothing. Just gave it to him.
600,000.
Increase in his budget.
Well, it's up to 596 now.
Oh, for the whole budget?
For the whole budget,
Yeah, and what are we getting? I don't know what we're getting because I don't use it.
That's my background.
Yeah.
And we're not getting $600,000.
No, we're not. But the mayor might be with his speeches written for him and his column written for him.
Do you get the private emails that the mayor sends out?
Private emails?
To his support group? Turns out that during the storm and everything,
Hey?